Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosie, psych investigator. Hello, everybody. Welcome, Rosie, psych investigator. So this video, I'm going to look at another video depicting Steve Bannon saying some things about the upcoming elections and how he's afraid that he and others will go to prison if Democrats win, right? So let's go to that. Okay, so let's look at the video. I'm gonna put just
tell you right now, as God is my witness, if we lose the midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. They're not going to stop. They're getting more and more and more radical. And we have to counter that. And what do we have to counter it with? We have to counter it with more action.
okay, so that's just the passage that I wanted to show you. Honestly, the video it was a bit low. I don't know if you were able to hear it, but it's just a short passage that it says exactly what the tweet above it said. Steve Bannon, if we lose midterms and we lose 2028, some in this room are going to prison, myself included. So the question is he correct? Right? Meaning, is he going to prison? Because I almost feel like these Republicans seem to know some things, right? So almost like they have this intuitive knowledge or logic, really, right? Logic knowledge. So let me do the protection. I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle, I create a circle, I step into it, I feel protected, I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that I create the good and only the good, and so it is. Okay, so let's go to Stephen. So why did he make that statement? And I see, shows me an image of him and he's in front of a prison cell. And I think he will spend some time in prison already, right? He's going there. He's like, he has nightmares about it. And he knows it's true because they've done a lot of shady things. And they know that it's almost as if by miracle they were freed. And the miracle is Trump. So, okay, so all right, so let's see. So what is actually going to happen and how soon and what events will happen before he goes to prison? So what will lead Steve Bannon to go to prison? What I mean by the question is more like, show me events that will happen. And for example, changing the party in power, right? And having another president. Okay, so because clearly if Republicans are in power in any way, they're not gonna, we're not gonna have justice, right? We need a whole new Justice Department. So is Bannon right? Yes. So tell me what needs to happen before Bannon goes, before or in order to go to prison? What will happen between now and that moment? So it shows me like the events of like this government collapsing. And then it shows me like it's sort of a gory image. It's like a person, if you look at the organs, but what it's saying to me is like the vis is the organs of what this administration, like the deep down inside the administration, essentially, the skin is lifted and you see the gory stuff they have been doing. And he's like, oh no, it all came out. It's all out there for everybody to see. And then I see that there will be this like a commission of some sort, like remember there was 9/11 commission and there was also the January 6th commission. But now I think the Democrats have learned, right? If you there cannot be a new Merrick Garland person. It has to be somebody who does it, right? It was not like, oh, I don't want people to feel bad. So, okay, so interesting. That's right. So that will happen. Now, how's No, it tells me 18 months. So that makes sense in a way, because by the time you have to get a new person, you have to change everything because it's saying, obviously, there is very few people, like a lot of people have left the Justice Department. In order to prosecute all these people, you need to hire all new attorneys and you need to create almost like I see it like a second Justice Department just to deal with the crimes of the Trump administration, right? Because it's like a decade or so of this. So yeah. So I think yes, the lesson has been learned. So mhm. Okay, so let's just see what the cards say about this. And then okay, it's funny. One card fell. So to me, there's a sign to get started. Okay, so we have the Two of Swords upside down, revealing something, plans. Oh wow, Justice upside down. That's right. Uh-huh. There has to be justice, right? Idea. Now, this is plans or ideas, right? Thoughts. Occupation, work. That's kind of like what I was saying. There's the job, right? Who's going to do this job, this work? And I can't quite see it because my angle despair, right? So desperate, this thing. But it also suggests what's happening now, that stuff is coming out. He's desperate to hide it, right? But let's see. Guilt, that's right, guilt for a long time. Letter. This could be he's guilty and is sentenced for a long time because the letter below justice could mean sentencing. All right, so it's like he's saying he knows this is just a pause for them, and in reality, they will not get away with things. Okay, all right. So okay, so then the next part of his statement, the next question is about the midterms of 2026. I'm not talking about the president, whoever the president may be then. It's just a question about elections then, 2026, and what will happen. What will elections be like in 2026? Let's just start with that question. Okay, so what will elections be like in 2026? Oh, I don't know if it's the imagery that I was looking at now, but I see this image almost like a Renaissance painting or something. That there's like, sometimes you look at there's paintings in the sky, like in a ceiling, right? There's a cloud and there's like a light coming from the cloud, as if it's really like divinity comes through and like shocks the bad people. And there's justice will have happened by then, right? And then that's right. And they separated the guilty, the bad people, and they have been banished. But what I'm talking about in the kind of the religious sense. So, okay, so again, that was a big a big picture. But tell me the results of the election. What will happen then? It suggests to me that they may not even have enough candidates because they will be so unpopular by then. So really, so what will the election be like? Let's say what will the election be like before I guess it's telling me all this stuff before the results. Okay, let's see here now. This is high honor, so recognition of something. Wow, recognition of prison, of crimes, right? And payments, financial crimes. Okay. Okay, coffin, ending, ending, opportunities for happiness. There's endings, right? So a lot of pretty dramatic. I did shuffle, just wanna sometimes I forget. I'm like, did I shuffle? Did I shuffle? Okay, let's see here. Oh wow, that's right. Poverty or like hardship. And it's interesting because this card shows people outside of a church. New beginning. That's right. New beginning and money. Interesting. The building, I guess. New people in the beginning. Okay, so this is loyalty, the dog card. Hope, lies. Interesting. but how do we handle this there? Because in a way, we could say, okay, there's keep the faith and keep hoping because the lies are going to be exposed. Okay, so that's the climate, I think, before. And this isn't even really about what the outcome of the elections is, but what happens, what is the climate then? So what will be the now let's go to the outcome question. So what will be the outcome of the elections for us, right? For the Democratic side? Are we going to be happy with the outcome of the election? Will we gain our power back? So what will be the outcome of the election? Say yes. We're almost shocked. And then but it's interesting. I see this, I do see Kamala again. And I see the shock in our faces, like, wow, it happened. Like we're not used to it, or we're like, wow, can't believe it. It really did happen. They lost. So, you know, okay, I want to know this. Are we going to have, does it make sense what I'm saying, guys? There's so much gerrymandering. Honestly, I think we'll have to keep the faith and keep the work because it's a wait and see situation. Okay. But what will be the outcome for us? Okay, this is interesting. The first is that this is a legal, right, issue. Angry woman. Oh wow, the alliances go down fighting for this strength. Privates. The family also could mean families. Okay, mature man. False person. It could be that privately, or that Trump is exposed as a false person. It's saying alliances will crumble. There will be changes. I just picked that up. Now, this is the widow. This card is not necessarily a woman who's an actual widow. It could be just a woman who's sort of like a mother, not super young. Okay, jealousy or craziness. Wow, enemy. Interesting. Okay, ship. Okay, foreign man. Man departure. Success. Okay, so it's weird. The cards are pretty heavy. Honestly, it feels very emotional. Like there's almost like people are really angry at the crimes and the things they have done. A lot of things come out, and out of this anger, there's change. But does it make sense? The card, I mean, they would have the sun, but it's not, it feels to me very like there's a lot of conflict still, to be honest. So show me, that's right. It's saying focus now on trash leaving for now. Focus on this. There's a lot to happen before we get to that point. So I have a question since we're talking about elections. Will we have something like, how do we say this? Will the elections be protected from foreign interference? Doesn't make sense because we know that that there was interference, right? With Elon Musk and all. So what is going to happen? Right? You understand, right? Are we going to have normal? I mean, normal is never seems that it's like so soon, relatively soon in a year, right? Are we going to have regular elections like that where the numbers have not been changed? That's the thing we want. Okay. That's right. I see. Shows me an image of Elon Musk with the hands up, like as if he's been apprehended or something. And it tells me it really depends a lot on him not being around to change things, like not having that power. So interesting. So let's see what we get here. Just see, we're gonna have, okay, let's see, let's see here, painful ending. So we're gonna have elections without painful. Now this is interesting. This is a painful ending and the Three of Pentacles upside down, with shady people working behind the scenes and the sun. Okay, so stuff coming out and the ending of, that's right, those people. Oh wow, this is a death card. Okay, that's good. The house and fortune. Now it's interesting because it could be the House of Representatives, could be the White House here. News of something, recognition, something comes out. Public. This is public society groups. That's right. This one, just see here. Thief. That's right. So it shows me that by then, that's right, we will have exposed. This is a painful ending for the thief, right? News of painful ending for the thief. So it appears that child, new beginning, new start. Okay. And then what is it? Sudden wealth. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. The money. Now, sudden wealth also means abundance, and we also have a fortune card here, so this could be that. You know what I'm getting as I see the cards is saying a lot of money could be recovered from them because of everything they've done. So, so it kind of is interesting. You know, it tells me the focus should be in exposing the elections because if we don't, it will very likely continue. I don't think it will. It suggests that it will definitely end. That's what the cards are saying, and I picked it up, but that's what I'm getting, that it can, unless and if we expose it, right? If we don't expose it, they could try to get away with it again. And but if it's like tagged as a national security issue, which it is, and it's seen as the emergency situation that it is, then we can have change. So that's right. Well, yes. It's saying you know, then it shows me, it's funny, when I was a child, teenager, I would go on some of my vacations to my dad, biological dad lived in this like a countryside area. They had these like rocks, you know, the streets were like were it's from the Baroque era, in a historical area in Brazil. And so they were like paved with like you know, these like kind of bumpy rocks. So it's showing me that there's bumpy road, I guess. That's it. Bumpy road in the sense that it will be shocking. It will not be smooth. It will be good to know the truth, but it will not be smooth in that sense. So, okay. So that's information. That was interesting. So Steve Bannon was correct in the sense that he knows what's coming for him. But a lot has to happen, right? Before, in order for that reality to become physical, right? To manifest. Okay. All right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.